Hi guys, so today I'm going to try out this new item from LDRS Creative. I picked it up recently on HSN, so I'll have the links in the description box. That would be an affiliate link, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. I was going to put both of these things together in this video, but you know, in this set, it's the mini Slimline. There are two sets in here, so I'd rather kind of focus on this in a separate video. But today we're going to try out the envelope. So this is the, again, Elegant Stitch Mini Slimline and Scallop Stitch Mini Slimline like bundle. But I'll do that later. Today, I want to check these out. So these are the mini Slimline envelope dies, and there are 6 dies, and similar to the last envelope I tried out of theirs, not the one that makes like a thicker kind of box, which is so cute, the A2 one. Oh, I love that one. But it's more like that Slimline one. But this one does have some extra dies in it, I think. I don't remember the other one having these other pieces. So as you can see, it has like this outer die and then this other one, and this one also has the die that does the side flaps or however, and then this other one, and then another like little matting layer possibly, and then this side flap. I said side and I meant like this, like it depends I guess on how you make it. I kind of like using this kind of thing for like a policy envelope. I think it looks cuter at the end, but we'll try it out either way. We'll just talk about if you glue it one way completely closed or the other, however you want to do it. Yeah, so I'm just gonna get right to it. So it looks like the largest one, I mentioned this in the haul video, is 3.75 by 6.5, so 3.75 by 6.5. I make my mini Slimlines like typically 6 by 3.5, like same 3.5 by 8 like a Slimline would be, but I cut it at 6 inches, so this will be perfect for that. And then we have another one that's 3.5 by 6.25. I mean, I can think of all kinds of other ways to use these guys, if they have to do with the envelope or not. Like you can use that to make yourself a Slimline base and cut it, and it'll be nice and perfect. But you leave this off the edge, you know. But anyway, mini Slimline, should I say? Base. But okay, well, let me grab some papers and I'll be right back. Okay, guys. So I think I'll make 2 envelopes so we can see it both ways, like the policy envelope type, and then like envelope. So we just need these main pieces. You need 2 of this for each envelope, and then you'll need 2 of this, right, and 1 of the larger ones. And it's really interesting because I think on the other one on the back they kind of showed like, you know, how you would match it up, but I think it's kind of intuitive, and that's probably why they didn't have the little images on the back there. So I'm going to do 2 different envelopes, like I said, both of them, same thing. I'm going to cut one of these guys, and if I need more paper, I will do that. I just realized. This is 8.5 by 11. Let's see, one of those, one of these. Do you think it might fit? Oh, we might. Okay, I think we're going to fit all 3 of these larger pieces, but I'm not sure. If you really get it right on the edge, you'll be able to get these guys too, hopefully, from this area, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it'll fit down there too. Okay, so I think from the one piece we will be able to get all these guys, and I gave you the measurements, you know, reading it off the label there. I'm probably going to run this through the marquee because I can just trim this down. Now, I'm going to be very careful about that because I don't want to cut into my paper in a way that I can't then use this section, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to cut really close to this and then run it through my marquee. And or if you have a larger machine, you know. But what I'm trying to say is to maximize this paper, I want to keep it as well as I can. So like I'll even move this over just a little bit just to make sure I can get all of my pieces. And yeah, I'll just trim this down and I'll show you what I mean by that. Like I'm going to get really close. And then I'll do the same thing with the white paper. Now, as far as paper, like what I was trying to say, ooh, I don't know how close I need to be on that line, so let me move that over, yeah. I'm not using the most heavyweight paper. This is probably 65-pound, 80-pound paper. I don't, for envelopes, I don't really like using like the thickest paper because it's just going to be really stiff, and especially with one like this where you're going to glue the different flaps, it just makes it that much harder, I think, to get a nice, like, to align them really nice. So, I'm just going to run this through. And I'll do the same thing with the white paper. And again, since, you know, it's going to hit a roller, I'm going to angle this as much as I can so I can get a nice cut. And I'm going to do this very slowly because that's how I always do when I'm on camera, so it's not like bouncing around my... I always call it a tripod. It's not a tripod, it's a single arm that holds my Sony 4K. I know sometimes people ask me what camera I use, or what microphone I use, and it's like, it's the microphone that's on the camera, so it's pretty good. But anyway, okay, so I need to do that one more time, plus that one larger one, okay? I'll be right back. So, got that, again, from the one piece of paper. I totally misjudged this last one, though, so some of the flaps are missing a little bit, like this one. Just missing an edge, but that's part of the flap that's going to be on the inside, so I'm just going to use it. I do want to mention one thing. Sometimes when you have a die that's like this and you go in the marquee, it kind of wants to flare it out. Like you can see how these dies, you can pull them open. And I don't know if I've noticed it in other machines. It just depends on how tight your machine and how it works. But it kind of bows out. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of like, whoot. So if this is supposed to be 3 3/4, what I'm going to do just to finish that off nicer is cut that edge off, and it looks like it's only on one side, but I don't know, so we'll put it at 3 3/4 ish, right? I'm not quite there, and you can see that little, just a little something that it makes it bow out like that. So I'm still gonna finish this one off too, right at the 3 3/4, and yeah, it just takes off that little belly piece that just kind of comes out right here. So just something to think about. If you notice that, you can just trim it off, because basically the die moved and then the paper looks wonky, even though you can just cut it down and trim that off. Okay, so a couple of different things. So we have these flaps, and I like to score things ahead of time, so I'm going to go ahead and take a moment to score this. They look like they have about 1/2 inch or so pieces. And this is just what I like to do, because when I go to glue this down, I like to see that edge really nicely. And I am going to bone fold this. I know usually I don't take the time to do that, but on these ones I will, because when I go to glue this to this part, I want to see exactly where that edge is, you know? And basically glue it down like that. Okay, and today I think I might even use a dry adhesive, because it's just an envelope. It's going to stay together. I don't think it's a problem, and that way I can put it together and not have to wait for the glue to dry or to set up before I move on. So I'm going to do that with this one. And let me think about which way I want to use these guys. So I'll fold this one and I'll be right back. So since this is one I kind of messed up a little bit as far as when I die cut it and I was off the edge, I'm going to use that one as the one that's like your regular envelope. And this one I'll make a policy envelope out of. And, you know, it's just, where do you want to start, basically. So let me grab this. I do have adhesive runners, but I have a ton of this tape, so I'm going to use this. I'm going to put right on the edge. Now you can put on the edge of this, or you can put on the edge of your paper of this. Now I'm putting it on, this is the nice side where the die cut came in. Of course we're putting the glue on there because we're going to put it this way. And then when I come here, I'm going to stick it to the rough cut side, right, of the envelope. And again, I'm putting the glue here, but if you wanted to put it on here, like on the very edge, that would be really nice, because that's really what your edge, the edge that you're looking for, right? When you have flap kind of envelopes like this. And so this is one of the edges. Again, this is the wrong side, and I'm just holding it like this, and I'm going to look right down. Oops, see, not quite. Right down that edge and glue that down. And I'm just trying to keep it as straight as I can. And I always, so when I do a wet glue, I kind of look on the back side and I kind of make sure that everything's nice and straight. So this time, you know, I kind of had to go with it. Once I stuck it down, I can see there's a little extra right here, and I can just trim that away. Whatever's just kind of sticking out, just to make it look a little more polished. Okay, so those are the kind of things you have to do for this kind of envelope, you know. And then these guys, I'm going to glue them down. And we could have glued this one first, the other one later. Like I said, you can put the glue or your tape on the very edge of this. And I'm talking about the very edge, because you want this to really meet up there, you know. So if you do it here, then on this one, what I would do, again, on the nice side, because you're going to glue that in, is go to the very edge. So now you have the glue on both. And I burnish it with my finger or with a bone folder just to really get the glue stuck down, your adhesive. And now this time, you know, again, do you want to do it like this and see exactly where that edge is, or you want to go ahead and just I always want to get right on the edge, because it just looks best that way. And I can see that's pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of give it a good closure. So with the policy envelope, this part's going to be on the outside like this. And then this little flap is going to come down on the outside. Okay, so we have one more to do. And again, I'm just going to align the very edge with my tape. I like that better, and then align it here, and I'll be right back. And again, just burnish it with your finger. And I have the glue along the bottom, glue along this very edge. And this is, for me, is just the best way to work with these kind of flappy type dies when it's flaps instead of one solid, you know, one big die that's going to cut everything at once. Just get it right on that edge, and that's just what makes it look nicer and more completed. And then basically those are going to fold in like this, and then, you know, I'm going to give this a little bit of a bone folding. And that's going to glue on here. This, we're going to put some glue here. And last thing we're going to do is add our flap, the top one. Again, I'll line this just the way I did before. So if you, I think this is the best way to do it, just because you know exactly where that edge is and where to get that glue. And I'll, like before, I'll just line this. And I'm going to do the other one essentially the same, but we're just going to glue it differently when we go to glue it down. So I'm going to do this one for you guys. I'll get the other one prepped just the same way, and then we're just going to glue it a different way. That's all. Yeah, I was going to say, should I? Again, right on that edge. I'm giving this one a little bit more up towards this way. I'm not quite going to zhuzh it yet because I want to know exactly where this stuff is going to be. So this goes here, this goes here. I'm going to put some glue on the very edge of this. So when it touches that one, that is one nice thing about this dry adhesive, because with the wet glue, you're going to put wet glue on here. And you can put a strip there of wet glue just like I did. And then a strip on the other, but so I'm putting it right on that edge of that flap, and I'm going to put this right on the edge of this inside flap. So when I stick it together, hopefully that's not too far out. We'll catch exactly, this is going to touch this and this is going to touch that, so that's nice and sealed up. And then this guy, we're just going to come up like this. And, you know, I am going to frame this one out, I think, like this. Just to get that on the edge. And I'm not going to put any tape on that bottom. I'll tell you where. Here. Because there's a little bit of an opening, and I don't want to end up putting glue here and sticking that down, or your card sticks to it, you know, and it starts getting a little warm, especially because of this kind of glue. Sometimes it'll reactivate, and sometimes it dries out after a very long time. It just depends on the brand that you're using. So I'm not going to put any glue there. I'll just put this one here. How cute. And that is it, guys. So there's your envelope. And then you have your stuff in there, and from the front it looks pretty great because of all that care that we took to get right on the edges, you know, with our bone folded flaps there. And then at the end, now that it's done, I can do that, and then you can put a little sticker, you can put a little something to close this up, right? And then we have the other dies to add a mat if you would like, add a mat here. So let me frame this one out and glue it all together. It's going to be exactly the same, but at the very end we were going to glue it in a different way to make a regular envelope. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay guys, so here's this one. Again, just done the same way. This time I did the long edges and I did the short ones. It doesn't matter, do however you like. In fact, for this one I probably would do the short, the long edges on top of the short one, because, you know, when it's cold, but you don't really see it anyway. But if you want that, you know, go for it. So this one, I'm just looking again because I had messed up a little bit when I got to the very edge of that one. I'm going to see the nicer side, what's going to be showing, and that's what I'm going to put up like this. And that is it, you guys. So I'm just going to put a little tape, not quite at the very bottom, just along the edge here. Again, for the same reason, there's a little gap there, and I don't want to glue that to stick it down. I think these might have sold out already, but like I always say, I have whatever links are available in the description box, and I know people who purchase them probably want to know how to use them if they don't quite know yet. This is the part that's a little bit trickier, because I want to see exactly kind of where this needs to be. Like around here, and I think Miranda just woke up, so I am going to be right back. I'm going to put the same tape on the other side. So we have our little glue tabs that we put on the sides here, and we also put just here. It's about an inch down, I would say, from this area here. I know it's hard to see because it's white on white, but it's about an inch, I would say. And hopefully that helps you guys out, because again, I just like to keep it right on the edge and just really look at that. This little piece of glue is kind of sticking out. I can tuck it in. It just gives a nicer finished look on the edges, right? So there's that, and then this guy here. Now, if you were going to use, you know, the other dies, I did bring out a pretty piece of paper that would coordinate with both of these guys. This is the watercolor paper, look at that. And if I wanted to, like, decorate, let's say, just the flap here, or both flaps, you know, on the policy envelope, you would cut a little mat, you can put it on here and here. You can cover the front, you know, with this larger guy, or if you want to decorate these flaps too, of course you would have done that before you glued everything together with this one to make matte layers, right? Or like on this one. So what I'll probably do in the video just at the end here is I'll cut that guy out. I'll glue it here on the little flap. And then on this one, I'll just, again, cut this out for some pretty paper and just glue it on here. And just a little accent to your envelope. You can put it, you know, on the bottom and the top and cover the front, right? However you want to mat this up if you want. I do like to have that extra die. I think that's really sweet. So, all right, guys, that's a quick and easy way to make both of these guys. And again, I just like to keep it right on the edge. You're just looking at what you're doing, so it just looks nice and neat. I mean, if you look at it, look how neat it looks in the front. It's basically just that rectangle. Nothing crazy. And when you look on the back, it looks exactly like it's just done really well. So again, just pay attention to those edges. Okay? Oh, alright guys, before I go, because I'm just going to go ahead and cut this out. I do want to mention, this one's a little offset. You know how the die itself, I mean, it kind of divots in a little bit? Just the smallest amount. So if your paper has a direction, just pay attention to that. So like for this guy, if I'm looking at this, it needs to be like this. If I cut my paper and the direction is facing the opposite way, it's going to be too close here and then too much space there. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. So it kind of divots out just a little bit. And I'm basically going to cut it from there, so these pretty flowers on the edge there. And then this little guy, just, you know, he's kind of smaller. Just something like that. All right. Thanks for watching. I'll have the links, if they're available, in the description box, and I'll have some images coming up. And I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye now.